So I thought that we saw the first couple that was going to be formed, but it seems as though the man of the house and the first lady are already there. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Bad Boys Los Angeles. Baby, this is season 1, episode 2. And oh yes, big time shade coming from my direction. Like I said, see, I did my review last week. And I said, yeah, child, I seen Miss Gutter, honey, sliding up on Carry On, got his nose all open and things. And I said, that's cute. Now, that was cute. I thought they were going to be the first couple that was going to happen. But as I said, the man of the house and the first lady moved in right along with everybody else. So they would have to be the second couple because the first couple has already arrived. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, we'll get to it. Moving on. Relly is just as scratched up, and Milan wears a lot of jewelry. So I think a lot of like the rings and stuff and all the pulling and the tugging, ain't nobody actually done whoop nobody's behind. It just... The funny thing is the two of them, they put them in two different parts of the house, and they're like, really, your mouth is bleeding. And it's like, he's like, yeah, I bit, he bit down on his lip, and then messed up, and then you got these scratches all on you. They look rough. Milan, he got scratches on him. But they're both in different places in the house, and they both saying how they done whooped each other's ass. Excuse me, neither one of y'all really ain't whooped each other at all. Y'all just tussled a little bit, and that's it. That's it. Because ain't neither one of y'all mad enough in trying to get back to the other one, and ain't neither one of y'all scared to go back and get the other one. See, when a good ass whooping take place, the person who receives the good ass whooping ain't really all that gung-ho to go get another one. Okay? That's just how it is. Y'all, I don't feel like nobody won the fight. I feel like you all scuffled a little bit. A little pushing and shoving and scratching. And I think a lot of the scratching has to do with jewelry and things. Because they was all in each other's chests, and he got on all kind of jewelry. That's what it's given. Because even with Carry On being in the shuffle, Carry On had a scratch on him. He had a little scratch on him before anything even happened. He's like fussing. Carry On was fussing about this jacket he had on and liquor being thrown on the jacket. He's like pissed. Child, Gutter clowning. And the Gutter's like, child, what is the big deal, honey, about the jacket? Where it come from, Macy's? I said, no, Miss Gutter, you be a shady bitch. Just shady. But then Natalie, I'm looking at Natalie. Natalie's doing her thing. She's doing her Carlos King thing. She's like her and some of the other guys are trying to convince Dylan that Milan actually had his back. And that's why Milan jumped on Relly. Dylan ain't stupid. Dylan's not impressed with none of what's going on. Him and William are like, what the hell have we actually signed up for? So in order to just get them to shut up, as it was Gutter, it was Anthony, and Natalie Nunn trying to convince, he's like, yeah, okay, I mean, I appreciate him having my back, but I don't, then he goes in his confessional, I didn't really need nobody to have my back. Oh no, you needed somebody to have your back because of the things that actually went on. Now, Relly ain't get beat up. Milan ain't get beat up. But trust me, sweetheart, you and William got beat up. Both of y'all got beat up, child. Period. Y'all beat each other up. Because then nobody win with y'all too. Y'all beat each other up, girl. And then Relly beat y'all up. And both of y'all ain't trying to fight with Relly no more, or nobody else in the house for that matter. See how that worked? Y'all got beat up. So yeah, you do need somebody to have your back. But you do better, baby, ease it up. If you're going to let anybody climb your back in that house, Dylan, you need to let a member of security climb your back. Not none of them hoes in the house. Somebody from security. So they can really have your back and watch your back. Bitch. God, you and William. Y'all better start working on it, baby. If you're going to work on something, work on security, sis. That's it. You need to work. Not even nobody from production, because they going to get a bonus when you get a member of security, baby. Introduce them to the dark arts, baby, and then you'll be good. And until only then will you actually be safe. And tell them you need to be working around the clock around here, Annie. You young girls, honey. Anyway, moving on. So Carry On's mad about the liquor that got thrown on his jacket. Gutta is not impressed by any of what's going on in the house. Now, Gutta, I like you, girl, but you're doing a lot. You did a lot here. You're explosive. And you were getting angry because it wasn't to your liking of ghetto. It wasn't popped off enough to satisfy your inner ghetto girl, honey. So I was like, okay, it started getting a little irritating throughout this episode. But I'm like, okay, girl, chill. Just chill. Just be pretty and chill. But she was, when I say Gutta was reading, I told you I liked her. Because that bitch was reading. She was getting Milan together. I was like, girl, stop. He said something, she gonna say, you don't get no cool points for jumping on Relly. You like 40 years old and you snuck him. Girl, you ain't getting no cool points. Girl, get out of here. Get somewhere and sit down. I was like, true. But Gutta's like, stop calling people old, Miss Thing. Stop calling people. If it wasn't for old bitches such as myself, you wouldn't be able to walk like you do. You would not be able to walk around with looking in between, looking like a girl, acting like a boy, looking like a boy, acting like a girl. If it wasn't for old bitches such as myself, sweetheart, you wouldn't be able to do that. So, simmer down, little mama. But anyway, so then Natalie showed them some videos from fans, and they were saying, like, just regular fans that had sent in inquiries that says what they were looking for, what they wanted to see on the Bad Boys Club. And I'm like, okay. And a lot of that stuff, I was like, okay. All right, whatever. But they was reading the fans. I was like, really? Gutta was reading the fans a little bit. Then Milan was reading the fans a little bit. I'm like, Milan, stop. You know better than that. You know better than that, because you know if it be not for the fans, none of this shit don't mean nothing. Gutta's young. Gutta's first time around, like this kind of little stuff. And she's saying stuff like, I don't give a damn about that bitch or what that bitch is saying. I ain't never going to see that bitch, but you may actually see that bitch, Gutta. You may. Social media, the hierarchy changes daily. One viral video will make a bitch that you never thought you'd meet move to a place where you be trying to get an interview on her show. So you keep that in mind. The hierarchy around here changes daily. One viral video can change everything. So watch how you treat people, girl. Watch the things that you're saying about people on here. Like, seriously, that's just from me to you, bitch. And that's real. That's real. So take it down a peg. Anyway, moving on. So that was going on. I was laughing at William because Child William feels like he's the gay beacon for all the gays. And he's like, yeah, you know what I got out of those videos? You know, it's really positive because, like, you know, there's other gays that are looking up to me. No. Girl, no. You're not becoming a beacon of gay light, honey. In this, bitch. Where you think you at? You're not at the American Idol, girl. Girl, this is the Bad Boys Club, girl. The only thing that you can actually gain from this show, girl, is some visibility, not notoriety, bitch, but visibility and maybe a little tinge of street cred. Bitch, you are not becoming no beacon of gay light, honey. Have a seat, Miss Williams. And at this point, girl, you're not doing so good on the street cred part, girl. People getting to know you, but for all the wrong reasons, girl. Right now, at episode 2, we know you as the white boy that got beat up first over on... Sit down. Have a seat, Miss Williams. Girl, want to be a beacon of light? No, girl. Not at all. Sit down, sis. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so shortly after that, Natalie says, so let's do a toast. And I'm kind of like watching around, looking around. Gutta's like, why are we doing a toast? Gutta's gotten, people have actually started drinking. Well, they were drinking anyway. They've been drinking all day. Some of them, they're drunk. Okay? So, you know, drunk brings out some stuff. Okay? So, I see, Gutta, you come across like you a little bit of an angry little drunk. It takes just a little something and it takes you to an angry place or a very irritable place. And that's what I was starting to see. And she's like, fuck about this toast and whatever. Like, why? Why now? Like, people have been fighting and then I don't really feel like none of them could fight. I'm like, oh, God, girl, stop. Stop. Because you're going to say something and you'll put a target on your back. And that's always an issue where people do that whole group talk thing. Again, I know you're young, baby, but listen, that is a recipe for disaster. When you do, even if you think it, those things should never come out your mouth. You know, I have a friend who, you know, I used to always say, stop doing that shit. You know, I'll everybody up in here, all that. Stop doing that. And he pulled it one day in a bar. And guess what happened to the little gay boy that was in the bar? See, because he's a gay boy that don't really come across as gay, but people in the neighborhood kind of know he's gay. So, you know, it's that touch and go situation. Well, he decided to get all drunk up, and he did that little thing that he does. And when I tell you, whoever was in the bar that day just wasn't having it. And like, we had like a whole pile on. I wasn't there, but he had a pile on, child. And the bar as a whole, like you spoke as a whole, how you would whoop everybody's ass, everybody decided to whoop his ass. And I ended up dealing with the after effects. And when I tell you, when I got done getting glass out of his hair and patching up scratches and scrapes, and he literally had where I could see where somebody had just taken a bar stool and just banged him down to his back, and there were like 4, you know, the legs of the stool, marks of the legs in his back. So that has always stuck with me when that situation happened. And thank God he had like the type of hair that he had, so his head didn't actually bust with his hard-headed ass. His hair pretty much cushioned where he got cracked a couple times with bottles. And it just literally, the glass had just broke. I mean, little shards of glass. That was a nightmare. Getting shards of glass out of his head. I was just glad he was drunk, because if he was sober, it would have been even bit. Anyway, another story for another time, but just a mess. Just be mindful of that type of shit coming out of your mouth. And I kept seeing that, and it was making me anxious. I was like, gotta stop it, you know, because I was feeling uneasiness in the house already. And I was right. Let me get to it because I'm babbling on. Let's go. Let me down off my soapbox. Boom, 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 bam, and I'm back. Let's go. Okay, so Moolah don't have very many cool points as pertains to me anyway. Moolah decides to make his declaration again now as we're doing the toast about him being straight. About him being straight, him and Curtis. We're straight, and we this, that, and the other, and we ain't playing no games, and this, that, and the other, because anybody's playing any dick games, we just gonna bust you up and all. Now, the same story goes for you, Moolah, because didn't I tell you last week that you're not this big guy who's throwing out all of this, you got all this bravado, and you're in a house, you're outnumbered. Now, I don't know how you feel about the gays. Well, yeah, I do know how you feel about the gays at this point, but I think you're wrong in how you feel. But I don't think you're really, really crazy about, like, what you're saying. But you're outnumbered. You're outnumbered, and it's really unnecessary. And I thought maybe you thought that the bravado was going to build points for you where you were scare them. Well, they're really, you got two that are scary, but the rest of them ain't really all that scary. They ain't really all that scary. So I don't know about that. But then I looked over and I seen Curtis. And at this point, I actually get to see Curtis. Now I'm looking at Moolah. Moolah is not big. He's like just a regular size. Moolah's probably as tall as me. I'm 5'9", okay? And he got a smaller frame. Okay, you got a smaller frame. You got a little muscle on you, but nothing to, you know, to where you ain't scaring nobody, child. And then you're looking at Curtis. And Curtis is just co-signing everything that Moolah says. And Curtis is damn near half of Moolah's size. Natalie Nunn is bigger than Curtis. With her heels on, I think Natalie Nunn probably has to look down in Curtis's face. Catch those T's. And so, right at this point, I started looking. Gutta is not impressed at all. The boys are ignoring them. They're paying them dust at this point. I'm getting irritated with them. And right then, right at that moment, I looked, I said, Curtis, you're corny. Flat out. You're corny. I see Moolah. I think Moolah's a bit of an ass. You know, a bit of an ass. You got some foolishness going on with you. But Curtis, you are a whole corny ass. You're corny. Like, welcome to the Corny Collins show. Corny. Completely corny. And I said, and I looked and I said, I even wrote it in my notes. The gays are counting down to the time where they have to get y'all. I wrote it in my notes. We move on. So we move on further into his toast. Everything's cool. Everybody's chilling. Moolah then turns everything around onto Carry On, who has been just chilling in the background, not bothering nobody. You know, he got his little thing going about Little Miss Muffet and her Tuffet, and he just being quiet and just chilling, like bisexual boys do. That's what they do. They just chill. You know, if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. If they're interested in you, they'll let you know. But for the most part, they usually just chill. Say, okay, Carry On. But he done turned it on Carry On, and now you want to put him on the spot in front of everybody. All of production, everybody in the house, all the security. You just literally put him on the spot. And now you're literally trying to drag him out of the closet. You're trying to drag this man out of the closet. I'm like, who does this? And Carry On was like, he was really nice with it. He's like, I'm not, you know. because they were trying to do like their own little toast. Moolah has completely drawn the line in the sand as the us against them, because that's what this is now at this point. It's a us against them, and it's him and Curtis. And Carry On was basically standing in the middle. And I'm laughing at Gutta because, see, Gutta is a live wire. So that's why I was really clocking Moolah at that point. Moolah knows who to play with and who not to play with. I noticed that as well. You done sized Carry On up, and you thought you decided that you wanted to bully Carry On. And that's what's actually going on. That's how I see it. Okay? So while they're trying to do their own little toast, little Miss Gutta is letting you know ain't nobody feeling that bullshit you talking about. So she gonna say, yeah, toast the bad bitches, coming in, bringing in some bad bitches. Yeah, boys. She being, being smart. Her and Anthony, given we see what you trying to do, but we ain't feeling that us against you stuff. Stop trying to separate yourself out. We're all here together. Knock it off, is what she was giving her and Anthony. And Milan was sitting back getting very irritated because he is 40 or close to 40. He knows what this is. He knows what he's looking at. He's getting very irritated, okay? So he continues on with Carry On, and Carry On's like, I ain't getting into that. I'm minding my business. I'm doing me. He literally, Moolah continued on to, he literally told him, you need to say where you at. Are you with us? Are you with them? Because if you fucking on them, you can't be over here with us. And I was sitting there like, am I really seeing what I'm actually seeing here? Yes, I know it's the Bad Boys Club, but you remember when we seen everything that was going down and they were giving their little things and saying who they are and what they do and their real lives? Moolah, you got a whole bunch of businesses, and one of them was like a car. You had like a car lot or something, right? Are you stupid, really? Are you stupid? See, because there's some people that are going to love your position, but there's some people who are not going to love your position at all, and it will bother your bottom line. Now, I'm talking real shit to you right now. It will bother your bottom line. You sit around talking, you got a car lot, and you want to piss off the LGBTQIA and then play this game about how you ain't homophobic? What do you call it? What do you call it? I'm going to get back to that in just a second. You just hold that right there. What do you call it? Because, see, I get real sick of that. People doing shit and oh, that's not homophobic. Then they start trying to break down what homophobic means. It is exactly what it is. He can't hang with you all. If he says he's gay, he can't hang with you all. Meanwhile, y'all all guests. This ain't your house. Y'all are all on a set. You don't own shit but your name in this house. And right now, do you really own it? Or is it actually being leased over to Zeus Network for a bit? You don't own shit, but you had your coat in your ass. You can't tell nobody where they're going to be and what they're going to be doing. But you literally are going to put him out, and then you're going to put him out, and you're going to drag him out into making him give his status of what it is that he likes. Why? Because you're who? Interesting. So he continued on. And after a minute, it started to irritate Carry On. So Carry On was like, you keep bringing up this sexuality thing, which is starting to make you look suspect. Relly was getting, because Relly had calmed all the way down. Relly was getting a little like, girl, this is some bullshit, you know? So I'm like, okay. So it just continued on to the point where next thing I know, Moolah attacks Carry On. Carry On didn't say anything that bad. He really did. He just was like, you know, I'm like I said, I'm standing where I'm standing. Ain't nobody did nothing. Ain't nobody put their hands on me. It just is what it is. I'm standing where I am. Whereas he was saying, I'm in between the both. That was the answer to your question. I am bi. But he just didn't come out and say I'm bi. I'm standing in between the both. I ain't all the way on one side. I ain't all the way on the other side. I'm cool with everybody. What is that? That's bisexual, pansexual. That gave you the answer that you want. No, I'm not against them, but no, I'm not totally for you either. That was it. So you gave him your answer. I'm going to bully you then. Since you're not straight, I'm going to bully you and I'm going to whoop you. Why? I have no idea. But I think it's because you thought you could. You thought you would gain cool points by jumping on him and bullying him because that's what you were doing. And then Curtis, because when the argument was going on, you kept saying, let my boy talk. Let my boy talk. You're sitting there. You don't even have a voice, Curtis. You are everything that he says, then you say, and then you are taking up for what he's saying. We don't even know you, Curtis. We don't know you. We don't know what you stand for. And we really don't know how you feel about nothing. The only thing we know is that you are Moolah's do-boy. And I'm being nice because I really didn't call you a do-boy. What I really called you was the first lady. And that's how you came across, sis. Right, especially after the next thing that happened. Moolah attacked Carry On. Bust his mouth and stuff because he didn't think he was going to hit him. But, I mean, he did walk straight up to you. I don't know why you let him up on you like that. But he knocked you, you know, he hit you, knocked you, and all that. And then there was this little piece in there where the first lady was trying to slickly get into it as well. And she ended up pushing, Curtis ended up pushing Carry On. And they're like, oh no, you're not ready to jump him. And then other people started to move in on it. And he said, I'm not jumping him. He was falling on me and I pushed him. That is a lie. That is a lie. He wasn't falling on you. First of all, you had no business even being over there buying, First Lady. See, I ran it back a few times just to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing because Moolah moved on Carry On. They had moved all the way across. You were all the way over here. When Moolah moved on Carry On, you proceeded forward and got right up behind Carry On. What was you getting up behind Carry On for? Because you was trying to hit him. Y'all were jumping him, madam. And at that point, y'all are just what I said y'all are. The man of the house and the first goddamn lady. That's who y'all are. That's who y'all are. And they clocked you. They clocked you. And then they pulled Moolah all the way over on the other side, like into the other room. They pulled Carry On back. And they're saying, you're not don't be trying to jump him. And you said, I'm not jumping him. I was just pushing. They were like, yes, you were. Yes, you were. No, I wasn't jumping him. He was falling on me. And he swung and hit me. Because you were hitting him. And they said, well, do you want to fight him then? Bitch, and you got quiet. You looking for your husband. And your husband was too far away. Carry On right over there by you. And then he gets to the confessional and says, well, I didn't know if Carry On was going to swing on me. He should have swung on you, bitch. You was trying to swing on him. Stop with the lies, Curtis. You very much were trying to jump him. You were running right behind like you're supposed to. You're a whole clown up in this house at this point. A whole clown. And when they asked you, did you want to fight him? You had absolutely nothing to say. You shut up. You didn't say another word for the whole episode. Nothing. Oh yeah, I clocked it. So like I said, the man of the house and the first lady. Get on out of here, child. Curtis, psh, Corny. Anyway, so everybody clocked it. It wasn't nobody here for it. Um, it kept on going. They were trying to calm everything down. As they got it calmed down, it became very clear that the line had been drawn in the sand. Okay, the line been drawn in the sand. Natalie Nunn starts trying to talk the situation down. She's trying to downplay the situation. No, it's really not us against. Yes, Natalie, sweetheart, it very much is a us against them. That's what you got here on your hands. And you knew you couldn't just leave the way it was. She's like, I'm leaving. And she's like, we're done. But she knew in her heart of hearts, and that crew knew, we cannot leave right now because this shit and all this glass, and they throwing drinks and throwing glass shit, and they knew it. And then Anthony was getting amped up. And Anthony was not going to hurt nobody. Anthony was staying his distance, but he's being mouthy. Milan will fight because he was getting angry. He was starting to get angry. And Natalie was she was using her weight to say, well, I'm talking, let me talk. And she was talking about this. Well, people are going to have questions, and it's okay to have questions. Yeah, Natalie, but that's not what happened. This wasn't about, it's not okay to have questions about his sexuality all like that. To question it is fine, but he ain't got to answer you. And then secondly, the whole, if you are this, you can't do that. That is the line in the sand, Natalie, sweetheart. That is the us against them. That's what you have going on. I don't give a damn how you try to downplay it. I don't care what examples you give from what happened at the girls' club. What you got on your set right now is us against them, period. And they showed you because they continue talking. Curtis is standing over there, and Anthony took a whole drink and threw it on the first lady, honey. He really got her too. Whoosh, the whole damn drink, cup and all. And he gonna say, come here, Anthony. Come on over here, my dude. Come on over here. We're not impressed, Curtis. You're wearing a whole drink at this point, and you still standing on the other side of the table. Because you know what done ignited. Period. So listen, this is what we got here. I looked at Carry On, because Natalie was saying, well, how do you feel right now, Carry On? She doing the show thing. She got to get her statement from Carry On. Because actually, when you looked at Carry On, baby, Carry On is giving some old lookout shit. That was his mind space and his eyes was dancing, baby. She's like, why don't we just, sleep this off? I said, girl, ain't nobody get ready to sleep. You got to throw down. Sleep this off, and then we try to have some conversations and things tomorrow and clear some things up. Carry On was like, it just is what it is. I was like, you damn right. And Carry On was given, I feel you 100%, Carry On. Carry On was given some old, like I said, lookout shit. And his eyes was dancing in his head like shit. And then Moolah's over the door. Ain't you Kirk Franklin's son? I said, oh, you really pushing it. You are really pushing. She said, yes, I am, but I ain't on that. I said, I know that's right, honey. Them eyes was saying, doo, 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 dancing in his head. I said, Moolah is underestimating the situation that's actually going on in the house and where they really are. He's underestimating the situation by all means. Curtis is uneasy at this point because he knows kind of what has sparked. He knows that they see him for who he is, and what's going to be funny for me is whenever it gets to a point that the man of the house turns on the first lady. That's going to be interesting. What are you going to do when he comes for you, Curtis? What are you going to do? Scream domestic abuse? Anyway, Curtis is uneasy at this point. Anthony, like I said, is being mouthy. He was starting to drain me a little bit. He's being mouthy. And that was all it really was. I think if a fight really broke out, he would do some fighting, but he wasn't really trying to knock nothing really off. He was doing a lot of the mouthing, and he was doing a lot of the telling the story. Nobody cares about the story at this point. Where we are, no one cares about the story of how bad we had it versus what they think of it. We are 4 drinks thrown and 4 punches past that, okay? Gutta is just explosive and totally in her feelings. She done got mad as hell. I'm looking at her. She's angry. And he's one of those people, he never got into the tussle, but I don't think he would have actually been satisfied unless someone would have got the tussle with him. And he's like, ain't none of these people fighting. You know, this guy's very explosive, and she got into her feelings. So I'm looking at her like, y'all better watch her. Y'all better watch her. I think she'll be okay once the liquor wears off too. She'll be okay, but she's pissed because she knows the brevity of the situation. She knows, Milan knows, Relly knows. They know what they're dealing with at this point. Dylan and William are just scared. They are just scared, honey, and they're like, what the hell are we child? That's where they at. Relly understands the assignment. Relly from New Orleans, right? Relly understands the assignment. He understands full well us against them, bitch. He understands. Milan knows that this is bullshit, and he knows that Natalie was trying to smooth it over, and he let her know that he knows what's going on, and he ain't really here for it. So it was I see you, girl, and I know you're doing what you got to do, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna do what I got to do too. So this is very interesting where we are. I said, wow. I thought we would dance on to this, but I didn't think it would be at this level. And not this soon. Very good. Very interesting. Very good. Very interesting. But Moolah and Curtis, I said, oh, bitch made. That was horrible. Horrible. And you're outnumbered. But again, whatever. Go for it. I'm watching. I got my good eye on you all and the rest of y'all. Anyway, I will see y'all next week. Baby, Bad Boys LA. Let's get it, honey.